Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Crush It Trading Recap Show from Monday, November 18th, 2024. Crushed it today with $1,825. Yes, we had another great day of trading the Crush It Trading strategy. And not only one, but we had about 6 or 7 setups take place today. And every day it does take place. You just have to know how to find them, and they're pretty easy to find. So if you want to be a part of the room, do me a favor and click the links below. Right now, I'm running a special offer, $79 per month for life if you want to be a part of the trading room, and you too can learn the Crush It Trading strategy. There's a lot that goes along with it. We have free psychology courses, the Psychomaniac Day Trader podcast every single day. If you're in the room, you'll get live session where you can ask questions. Otherwise, you'll just have to go and watch these on the YouTube live channel. But please click the links below and find out more about Crush It Trading. All right, the trade of the day was, there it is, Tesla, $1,825. So I'm just going to jump right in here and talk about the fact that we didn't really get any Crush It Zone setups right away during the daytime here. They both came at about 11 o'clock, and I'll get into those trades here later on. So today I pretty much took what was in front of me, and you can see at about 9:40, 9:45, we had a move outside the Bollinger Bands at the 0.618. I generally do not take the 0.618s. I usually wait for price to get to the Crush It Zone, just because at the 0.618, you have a 50-50 chance of continuation or moving back. The probability really isn't the greatest, but I did like this setup because also on the 1 minute, we had a nice sell signal right here at about 230%. On the oscillators, we had the predictor telling us that we were in the sell zone. And I had a crossover take place at about 9:46 right here on Tesla for that continuation of the downside. So where I got into the trade was right here at about 9:45, this move to the downside. I trimmed most of my position out here at the 0 line. And as price moved back up, I seen that we had this crossover here. So I added to my position again to the downside and sold the rest of that position down here at the 0 line again. And now you can see that the price did continue to move up throughout the day for most of the day. And then we did have another move at the Crush It Zone here, which I did take a small position in right here, very quick down to the 0.618. And that was it for me. I was done trading, and I spent the rest of the morning talking and guiding people through their trades. So that was Tesla. Now let me see. I think there was one more nice move on Tesla here. Here it is. We had the Crush It. Now this came later on in the day. I just happened to be at my desk. I did not take this trade, but I know people were looking at it. And you can see we came through the Crush It Zone here. We had a move, past the Crush It Zone. We came back in, had a nice retest for a move to the upside here also. And so that was a really good move for Tesla. Like I said, it was later in the day, but the move was pretty big, and so you would have done really well on that one. And let me see what that was. That would have produced, it's about $8 move right there, roughly, or maybe a $7 move. So really good there on Tesla. Another good move we had was on AMD. I just want to show it to you here. And looks kind of choppy and messy, but you see AMD came back down to retest right here on the opening wick of the 5-minute candle right here. So you could have gotten into this trade here, kind of right here at VWAP at about 10.19. And our job would have been to take this all the way up to the Crush It Zone. So if you're patient, right, if you're patient, your stop would have been here. This is a really, really good risk-reward ratio. Almost, 11, almost a 12 risk-reward ratio on this one here. But you got to be patient. You got to hold on. And this did end up coming back and hitting the Crush It Zone here at about, was it about 1:30 in the afternoon. So, and the rule is this, is when we get that break on the 5-minute candle, 70-80% of the time, it's going to hit the Crush It Zone. You just have to be patient. So even if you take most of your position here at the top of the 0.618, your trailers, you could have hung on to the Crush It Zone and you would have done really well on those. Let's move on to NVIDIA really quick here. And NVIDIA had a really nice Crush It Zone trade right here. Also, you can see on the 5-minute, what I like about this isn't necessarily that the oscillators were lining up, but I had this move off the Crush It Zone here. You can see where the Bollinger Bands came in right here at about 11:44. Well, we also had on the 5-minute, the 200-day swinging right in here into the Bollinger Bands. So that to me was a good indication that would have been a good move to the downside on NVIDIA, and it did work out very, very well. And then also NVIDIA did have a move later on in the afternoon at the Crush It Zone also. A little bit of an overshoot, but still a good move to the downside. Usually this overshoot on the lower time frames is the wick of the 5-minute candle. You can see here, let's see, where is it? Yeah, you can see it overshot. It just overshot it. So probably about the 50% zone, but that would have been a good play on NVIDIA. Now let's check out the watch list and see what we got cooking there. So this is the AMD trade I talked about already. We did have AMD again off the crush it zone later on in the afternoon. Amazon had a nice play off of the opening candle wick right here to the downside. That was a 8.3 or 8.5 risk reward ratio on that one. And then Meta, we didn't really have anything to play off of here. We could have possibly got a move to the upside there, but nothing really looks good on Meta. And then we have Apple. I was watching Apple out of the open for continuation of the upside. It just didn't have enough confirmation, enough confidence to get into the trade. But we did get a slight move off the crush it zone. You would have gotten stopped out of this trade right here. And then we'll talk about this here. Then you have the rule, right? So it came back into the crush it zone again and then finally made the move. So maybe you would have gotten stopped out earlier, but it eventually got through the crush it zone later on in the day. And then we also had this move off the crush it zone to the upside here too, which was a pretty decent move on Apple. Tesla, really nice off the crush it zone here to the downside. We talked about that one. And then NVIDIA also off the crush it zone in the 200-day on the 5-minute was there also. So a lot of great setups, you guys, a lot of great setups. So, you know, like I said, if you've been losing money for the last 6 months to a year or longer, you're obviously doing something wrong. And if you want to know how to do something right, probably check out the Crush It Trading Room and find out what this is all about. You probably have a higher probability to start making some money day trading once you learn the Crush It trading strategy. And like I said, you know, $79 per month is very minimal to learn a new strategy. I promise you, you're going to like it. I think you will. So there you go. That is the Crush It Trade strategy. Hopefully you check us out. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Take care and have a good night.